In the ancient heart of Ethiopia, where faith has been a constant for over 1600 years, a deep shadow is now cast over one of the world's oldest Christian communities. The Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church, a profound symbol of unity, tradition, and hope, is now enduring one of its most painful chapters. In a region known as Arsi, nestled within Oromia, the ancient prayers that once echoed through the valleys are being silenced by the sharp report of gunfire. The stories emerging from this land are chilling to the core. We hear of hundreds of Orthodox Christians who have been killed. Entire villages have been burned to the ground. Churches, sacred spaces that have stood for generations, have been destroyed. Families are forced to flee, carrying nothing but the faith in their hearts. Just to give you a sense of the scale, in one diocese of East Arsi alone, 271 Orthodox Christians lost their lives in a single year. Each name, each life, is a heartbreaking testament to faith under fire. To truly grasp this tragedy, we have to look beyond the headlines and understand the complex reality on the ground. Arsi is part of Oromia, a land of breathtaking beauty and a long, storied history. But it is also a place of deep and complex divisions. Here, the lines between ethnicity, religion, and politics are not just blurred, they are dangerously intertwined. The violence isn't a simple matter of ethnic conflict. At its very core, it is religious. For centuries, the Orthodox Church has been historically associated with the Amhara and Tigrayan peoples, who were the dominant cultural forces of Ethiopia's past empires. Because of this long history, being an Orthodox Christian is often perceived by some as being aligned with an Amhara identity. Local ethno-political narratives have unfortunately twisted the relationship between faith and ethnicity. In some communities, a dangerous idea has taken hold, that to be a true Oromo, one must be Muslim or Protestant, but not Orthodox. This creates a devastating paradox. Imagine this. You are Oromo by blood, you speak the language, you share the heritage, but your faith, the very thing that guides your spirit, marks you for persecution. You are called Amhara simply because you are Orthodox. This is the central tragedy of Arsi. It is an attack not just on people, but on the very essence of their identity. Orthodox Christians, whether they are Amhara or Oromo, are suffering together, targeted for what they believe, not for who they are. The accounts from eyewitnesses paint a horrifying picture of life in the region. They tell of nights filled with terror, of homes being marked for destruction before dark. They speak of churches being surrounded before dawn, with worshippers slaughtered as they gathered to pray. One priest whispered a haunting reality. We no longer ring the church bell. It has become a signal for death. The sound that once called the faithful to prayer now calls attackers to their door. And yet, perhaps the most painful wound of all is the silence. A deafening silence from those who have the power to protect. A frustrating silence from those who deny what is happening, who try to explain it away as something else. And a global silence from a world that so often looks away from uncomfortable truths. The government issues calls for peace, and regional officials insist that the violence is not religious. But again and again, the victims are those who gather together beneath the cross. Investigations seem to fade into nothing, perpetrators vanish without a trace, and justice remains an unspoken, desperate prayer. But we must remember, this church, this faith, has survived worse. It has withstood the rise and fall of empires, countless invasions, devastating famine, and brutal war. This is the faith that inspired believers to carve magnificent churches from living rock, a testament to their unshakable devotion. This is the community that has guarded the Ark of the Covenant through centuries of fire and famine. Their faith has always been their strength, their ultimate shield. And now, once more, that profound faith is being tested in the crucible of suffering. Yet, even in Arsi, the faithful still gather. They may pray in secret, hidden from view. They light candles in the ruins of their desecrated churches. With hands that tremble from grief and fear, they begin to rebuild. They do this because they hold a belief that is stronger than any weapon. They believe that light will ultimately outlast darkness. They believe that truth will outlive the sword, and they believe that love, though wounded and bleeding, is infinitely stronger than hate. The Orthodox Christians of Ethiopia are not calling for vengeance. Their plea is simple and profoundly human. They are asking for peace. They are asking for the fundamental right to live and to worship without fear. They are asking for the world to recognize that their faith is not a crime. Because in Ethiopia, faith is not merely a set of beliefs. It is identity. It is endurance. It is the very definition of hope. And so, even as the fires of persecution burn in Arsi, the voices of the faithful rise once more. They do not rise in anger, but in a chorus of prayer that has echoed through the ages. Lord, have mercy upon us. Christ, have mercy upon us. Lord, have mercy upon Ethiopia. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this important story.